Hello and welcome back to another Nurse to Entrepreneur training series. This is video 4 of our 5-part series training on the 5 steps to creating a life that you'll love living. Today's video is for long-term care and skilled nursing, LPNs and RNs who realize that bedside nursing is no longer for you. You realize bedside nursing is not for you. Today's training is especially for bedside nurses who are ready to be, do, and have more. More in life, more in career, more with the relationships, more with getting money. Today's training is for bedside nurses who want to know of another way for you to get money from home, and you're open to exploring nurse to entrepreneur opportunities. So also in today's training, you're going to discover the 4th step that you're going to need to take if you truly desire to create a life that you'll love living. So I am your host, Stacey Bogle, founding partner of the Nurse to Entrepreneur Network. I am an LPN in the Baltimore, Maryland area. I have been in nursing overall since 1997. I have been an LPN. I started as a nursing assistant, and I have been working as an LPN since 2007. So I worked skilled nursing, long-term care, private duty settings. So I know I've had one patient, and I've had damn near over 40 patients on some assignments. And I know what it feels like when you're at a point in your career where nursing is cool, but you feel like you want to do more. You feel like there's more out there, and you feel like, I don't want to go back to school. Nah. And I don't want to continue to be the nurse. I want to pursue other things. So if that's the mindset, if you are that LPN or RN, then you're definitely going to want to stay tuned into today's training, because we are going to unpack a few things. All right, so let's bring you up to speed over this 5-part training. We have been discussing the steps you're going to need to create this wonderful life for yourself. So let's just catch up here, all right, and do a quick recap. All right. So the first step on your journey from nurse to entrepreneur is going to be decide on the future that you want. We've talked about this nurse here, and possibly, you feeling like that. I think we've all felt like that at some point or another as nurses. And when we're feeling like this on a very consistent basis before you even get to the floor, at that point, we really need to decide, what is the future that we want for ourselves moving forward? Do we want more money? Are we looking to upgrade our lifestyle? Do we desire to travel more? Do we desire to have better relationships where we're not, giving all of our time and energy to working, as opposed to being able to enjoy the people around us? And really the only way that we can the best way to be able to do that is to have more money and more time, so you can pour more into people and building out those relationships. So that is the first step. The next step 2 in creating, we discussed about once you've made a decision, at this point in time, now we are opening and freeing our minds so that we can manifest the things that we want. And we had discussed that some of the things that get in the way of that openness and that free mindset is our beliefs, thoughts, and ideas that often limit us from truly pursuing the things that we want. Because of limiting thoughts and beliefs, a lot of times we talk ourselves out of things that we truly want because we don't believe that we can have it. Because maybe we're not surrounded by people in our everyday lives or people that we can at least get somewhat close to and be able to see that they're having the level of success that we want. And we often, what happens a lot as nurses, all careers when you've been doing it for some time, but in regards to nurses, we get comfortable in that role, and a lot of times we become our career. And just because you are a nurse, a lot of times our life becomes being the nurse. And it's hard for us to see ourselves doing other things because this is all that we know. And when you've devoted 5, 10, 15, 20 years to just being the nurse and doing it on a 10, 12, 16-hour basis for some period of time, you internalize that. And it's hard to kind of see yourself or to believe that you can do anything more than that. So we really talked about step 2 is opening and freeing our minds from that to say just because you have been the nurse for so long does not mean that you can't do other things. And once we address the things that limit us, we can be free to explore other opportunities. And then in step 3 of the creation process, once we have our minds open and we're free in thinking, or we were a little more free in thinking because it's a process, we want to select the future that we want. And this is when we're just visualizing and seeing, and this is our daydreaming moments. Okay, this is when we're sitting on the cart and we're stuck, on a 20, 30 people assignment, or a last minute admission just came in and you're just like, oh, Lord have mercy, because that's how I was feeling the other night. When I was at work, I did a 12-hour shift and I walked into an admission that had come in and I had to finish that admission. And don't you know, that made my face go from a whole nother level, but I had to, be easy on it because these are the things that we deal with as nurses. And so when those moments come up, this is when we really need to be selecting our future, okay, and daydreaming and visualizing. Yes, we are in this current moment doing necessarily things that we may not like, but we're not going to get sucked into it. We're going to push past that and just get into our minds right now as much as we can. And we are going to visualize this new life that we want for ourselves and really picture ourselves having it. We are not necessarily questioning the how, we are just imagining getting the end results of what we want. So that is our step 3, selecting the future that we want in our mind. And then now, today, we are discussing step 4 in the creation process. And step 4 is going to be activating this future that we want. And you may be thinking, okay, well, how am I activating this future? And here's the thing, we are always activating. We are always activating something, but a lot of times we're activating the things that we don't want and we don't realize it. And how we're activating it is by how we're feeling. It's our emotions. And if you listen to Esther Hicks, and she talks about you can always tell what you're manifesting by how you feel. So when you're feeling good, you're attracting good things to you. And when you're feeling not so good, we're attracting more of what we don't want. And a lot of times we're attracting things that we don't want because we're so caught up in what is. and our we might be, we're on the job, we have a lot of things coming at us, we're frustrated, all these last minute things. We have patients on the call bell ringing for meds, where the nurse at, you have GNAs coming back and forth to you all of a sudden, that with extra stuff that was unexpected, which is maybe someone fell or they found a wound or just all of the things, and you have about 5 or 6 things coming at you all at once. Yes, it is hard to not get caught up in that, and it's hard not to feel that emotion. But so you are activating it, and what we need to come to understand, is that we have the power to create what we want, and we're activating everything that's coming to us by how that we feel. So if we can just keep in mind a little bit of our emotions and how we can use our emotions to activate more of or to attract more of what we want to us. So in saying that, we are closing our eyes. We are seeing the end scene. We are seeing ourselves having the things that we want now. We are seeing ourselves with more money, getting more money with ease, getting more money without having to pick up more work to get it. All right. So even that thought right there, let's just sit and think about it. How are you going to feel when you have income coming in without having to work another double shift to get it? Let's even just say, for example, an extra $50 coming in on a consistent basis, or an extra $100 a day coming in on a consistent basis. How is that going to make you feel? Just that thought right there. And then you feeling good about it, that's the activation. And the longer that you can have those thoughts and then feel good, imagining it and seeing it in your mind, these are the things that attract what we want. So really, we're using positive emotion. We're putting out positive emotion in the way that we're feeling in order to attract the things that we want to manifest. And how we're attracting it is we're getting on the frequency of what we want. Okay? Because if we want this wonderful life, and we want this wonderful, we want this upgraded house, and we want to be able to travel first class and be luxurious and have more time, to make better relationships, and we want the income so that we can plan to retire, we can invest, we can plan to retire comfortably, then we're definitely going to have to feel good about that. Because if we're feeling like that we can't have it, or we're doubting, or we're so in our head because we're trying to make a way, really, we want to focus, we want to get on the level of the things that we want, that for the life that we want to create. Okay? And how we're getting on that level is by feeling good, and we're doing it with positive emotion towards the things that we want to manifest, that we want to bring into our lives. So if you don't know what manifesting is, manifesting really, in the simplest form as it was taught to me by one of my mentors and coaches, Scott Hogue, manifesting is bringing the unseen to the scene. Okay? And because there's so many things out here, of course there's a life with you getting more money. Of course there's a life with you not having to work doubles 2, 3, 4 times a week. Of course there's a life for you like that. Of course there's a life, you being able to travel more and upgrade your, get that wonderful upgraded house that you've been wanting, and being able to take your kids on trips, and all of these things that you have been desiring. Of course there's a life for you. There's that possibility of it working out that way for you. This is what we're getting into with. And once we understand that is a possibility, now we're getting excited about it, because now there's no more, or there's less of us wondering, can this happen for me? Can I have this? Can I, finally get off this cart and do something else that's going to pay me just as well and better than being the nurse? Can I truly create a life for myself and my family to whereas I can stop saying no to the things that I want to say yes to? Can I, and then once you realize that there's definitely that possibility, just feeling good in that. Okay, and feeling good as long as we can. Feeling good for as long as we can. That's the activation with positive emotion. Okay, that's what's going to, like the sunshine here. We want to, the more that we can feel like this, for illustration, the more that we can feel like this is the more that we can produce results like this. We can start shining. The more that we shine, the more positive vibes and good energy. And sometimes it's easier said than done because a lot of times we get caught up in what is. And when we're just learning or just gaining understanding of new things, it's going to take a little while for it to truly settle in and become our default emotion. So if you're a person who, you're always, you have a tendency to give into negative thoughts and a lot of doubts and things like that, it's going to take a little while. Just because you know of new thinking doesn't mean that automatically you're going to be jumping on it. Because if you've been thinking and feeling away for 10, 20, 30 years, you're not going to reverse that overnight. The car has been going in this direction for a very long time. It's going to take a minute for you to, get the car moving in a new direction. But understand that you can. And I think that's what we want to get to the point to realize that we can steer the car in a new direction and be willing to put in the time and effort now. Because we've been efforting this whole time, and we've been attracting this whole time, and but not realizing it. And that's why for many of us, we're not getting the results that we want. Because so now that we know that we have more control of our circumstances and we can bring to us the things that we want by just with how we're feeling, now we can focus on that. And now we can put our time and energy into finding ways to feel good as much as we can, as often as we can, and not getting caught up in what is. Okay? So that is activating. That is step 4 of the manifestation, the manifestation process, creating a life that you'll love living, activating it. Okay? Once you've made a decision that this is what you want, you have opened and freed your mind. You've selected your end scene. Now you are activating it with strong emotion. Okay, strong, good emotion. All right. Now, strong emotion to attract the things that you want. Strong positive. That's the word. That's the key. Strong positive emotion towards the things that you want to bring them to you. And we have strong emotions too, but a lot of times them strong emotions are negative, and we're attracting more of that too. So that's really what we are walking away with, and that's the point to step 4. Strong emotion on the positive. And if we can focus more on that strong emotion towards good feeling, positive vibes as much as we can, as often as we can, yes, we can start to bring in the things that we want, all of the wonderful things. So that is what I have for you today on step 4. Stay tuned in for our next, for step 5 of our 5-part series, that bedside nursing is not for me, and 5 steps to creating a life that you'll love living. All right, so sneak peek. Let's do a quick sneak peek. Stay tuned, because on the next video, we are going to talk about allowing things to unfold naturally. Okay, we're going to talk about the bridge of incidents and how we can fall back and finally relax and let life take us to where we need to be. So I really hope that you enjoyed today's training. I hope that I gave you one or two nuggets that you can take and ponder on a little bit and help move yourself to that next level on your nurse to entrepreneur journey. If you enjoyed, hopefully, if you're still on here, you are enjoying our training series. And what I want to offer you is I put together a complimentary 10 inspired thoughts and 2 visual audios to get you feeling good. Okay, to help inspire you as you're on your journey and to help you catch your own vibe and help you to stay positive as much as you can. So I put that together. You can go ahead and get that at staceybogle.com. And also with that, I included a 15-day, it's a free coaching email that you'll get from me, just some follow-up and stay in touch with you for a little bit. And then if you have any questions or whatever, feel free, we can conversate and talk from there. And if I can be any help to you, let me know. All right, so that is it. All right, nurse, I will see you on the next training. Stay tuned for video 5. Stay inspired.